Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 5 Career Motor. Hope you're all having a great day. Today we start the episode off with our second ever Xfinity Series Hot Seat event here. This time though in a 4-star car here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So we're going to get right into the action here as usual now as we were underway here in Charlotte now as we started P27, so it wasn't the greatest qualifying effort from myself, and the goal was to finish in P20 or better. So if we could just pull off a top 20 finish, then obviously we'll be able to, I believe, get a 5-star hot seat offer for the next event. So that would be really big for us, because if we can get guaranteed into a 5-star car for the Xfinity Series next season, then we'll have no problem making the jump into the Xfinity Series, as well as that would open up Cup hot seats for the season after that, or no, for our next season that would open it up. So hopefully we can easily get through into the top 20. I definitely left some time on the table in qualifying, so I was actually really confident that we would maybe be able to beat our goal here. I am playing on Legend difficulty, as you guys know I always do, so I was a little bit concerned, but by the end of stage 1 I would be able to move my way up into P18 here as we came through turns 3 and turns 4. So the first stage was a success. We were inside the top 20, beating our goal here as we came to the line. So it was P18 in stage 1. A very solid effort there. Now, as the stage winner was Mike Lynette, who seems to be actually one of the best drivers in the Xfinity Series right now in the NASCAR Heat 5 video game. But we will get ready to go green here for the second stage, and like I said, just trying to make sure we stay in the top 20, not being too stupid now, as we're not obviously a full-time driver in the Xfinity Series. Don't want to mess with the full-time guys too much here as we will get underway for the start of the second stage here in Charlotte now, as we were underway from P18, 5 laps here in the second stage now as we go down towards turns 1. Unfortunately, being on the outside, I knew I was going to get shuffled down a little bit here, but I was just hoping that it wouldn't be too bad now as we came through turns 1 and out of turns 2 as we head down this back stretch, nearly getting into the back of the 99 of Balicki, but we would fade down to P21. So we're one spot behind our goal, but then we would fight back on lap 3 of 5 here in stage 2 to the inside of the 51 of Jeremy Clements. We were originally going to drive that car in this race, but then when I reloaded the game, it put me in the 07 car by Harrison Burton would come through to win the second stage, and we come through across the line in P20, so right on target here for our goal. So we're in solid shape right now after the second stage. Definitely not a whole lot to work with. We have to be very careful to make sure we don't make a silly mistake now as we get ready for the third and final stage here in Charlotte. Hopefully we can carry this strong momentum we've had lately in the Truck Series. We've won the last 2 Truck Series races, and we try to carry that momentum here into Charlotte now as the green flag is down. The third and final stage is underway here at Charlotte. You see there on your screen 13 laps to go, so just plenty of time for things to go wrong for myself, but hopefully that does not happen.
Looking inside now.
You see the 99 car there of Josh Balicki on my inside there on the left front now is obviously being in P20, just trying to be defensive at this point, but also trying to get down to that inside lane. And unfortunately, we would drift down to P22 here on lap 17, so hitting 11 to go, we were now losing to our goal, but we would fight back to the inside of the 99 of Balicki, make a pass on him for P21. Then we would run down the JRM driver of Noah Gragson, who seemed to be struggling quite a bit here in Charlotte, so we hop on the opportunity there, get to the inside of him as we come through turns, out of turns 2, heading down this back straightaway side by side. Not the driver I expected to be passing to get to our goal here as we went down into turn 3. Harrison Burton at this point, though, still leading the way as we would be able to pass Gregson through turns 3 and out of turns 4. So we get to our goal position, and then we would run down Daniel Hemrick, Gregson's teammate, with just 2 to go. We would look to the inside of Hemrick now, down into turns 1, and try to at least get 1 spot buffer just in case as we go down into the corner, but I kind of make a mistake there, slip up, and that would allow Hemrick to stay in front of me as we came through out of turns 2. So we would have one more go here at the final lap here in Charlotte as we went down into turns 1 side by side with the JRM driver now as we come through the center of turns 1 and out of turns 2. A little bit of contact there with the apron, and that makes me slip up, and then allows Hemrick to battle back on the outside down the backstretch towards turn 3. He clears me down into the corner, so I decide not to force the issue and just make sure we can bring the car home here in P20. Now as we come through out of turns 4, you see Gregson in the distance, nowhere near close enough, so we're going to come through to complete our goal by finishing in 20th now here in Charlotte, which should mean we get a 5-star offer, hopefully, in the next Xfinity hot seat now. Maybe it is a 4-star one, but either way, we complete the 4-star contract hot seat offer here in Charlotte by matching our goal, which puts us in really good shape, though, here in the future for our Xfinity chances going into next season. I would really like an offer maybe from JRM, maybe even Penske. I'm definitely not against going to Penske in our Xfinity rookie season next season, as we came through, though, to the Truck Series here for the first time in this episode, coming off of 2 straight wins here in our rookie season in the truck. So we have 3 wins total this season. Now, you notice that I also found out my key binding situation, and you notice the overlay is now gone in these replay cameras, except it brings up the little race event for some reason now as it come through out of turn 2, but you see in the top left corner the race event logo. Hopefully that kind of can get taken out eventually. Now as we go down towards turn 3 behind Jordan Anderson, we had a very solid qualifying effort, so I was very confident that maybe if we get lucky, we could get maybe 3 wins in a row here in the Truck Series now, as it was the 98 of Grant Enfinger leading the way as we're on the inside of our teammate of Zane Smith, pushing Anderson up towards the front. Now as we're going to make it 3 wide for a second as we go down into turns 1 with both Anderson and Sauter. Now we leave the door open for Chastain. He looks to the inside of me, and we're still 3 wide, but we clear the 3. Now we're just side by side with the 40 of Chastain. Then we make it 3 wide on the outside with Sauter and Chastain with just 2 to go here in stage 1. So some really action-packed racing here in this first stage. We go down to the final lap now in stage 1 through turns 3 and turns 4. Once again, we're going to be 3 wide through the center of turns 3 and 4. Zane Smith, our teammate, coming through out of nowhere to just kind of slip into P3 as it's Enfinger winning stage 1. We come through across the line to get P2 here in the first stage. So a very solid first stage for us. Clearly continuing to show some speed, as we obviously had a very rough start to the start of our rookie season here in trucks. We did pick up that 1 win in Atlanta, but other than that, it was kind of up and down. We were having some really rough finishes, but now we seem to have found something here, and we have been able to turn it up race after race now as we get underway here for the second stage in Kansas. And I would get a really good launch, actually, off the restart. Only 4 laps here in stage 2, but you can clearly see how much better of a launch I got compared to Grant Enfinger as we went down into turns 1. So we should be able to get the lead out of this now, as we can hopefully build up the momentum on the exit of the corner, and sure enough, we would be able to do exactly that. We clear the 98 and hold on to P1 now, as we've been leading a lot quite a bit here lately in the career mode, which is a nice problem to have. But then on lap 2 of the stage out of turns 4, I get into the outside wall, but thankfully we hang on for a brief moment, but we would allow the 13 of Sauter to my inside here with 2 to go in stage 2, so I might have just completely blown away a chance of winning stage 2. Now as we go down into the corner, Sauter clear for the lead, so we come through all the way to the final lap in the stage out of turns 4, and it was as far as I got was P2. Now as Sauter would hang on to the stage victory, but we still at least get a solid stage finish. We're still running up front, we're still leading laps. We have the pace that we need right now to be a top contender in this series in just our rookie season. I would love to get win number 4 on the season. I remember William Byron in his rookie season in the Truck Series had like 8 wins, maybe 7, 8, or 9, something like that now. As hopefully we can come close to matching that, but it's going to be very tough now as we're underway for the 3rd and final stage. And this time we get an even better launch than we did compared to Grant Enfinger, and we would clear Johnny Sauter already by the time we got into turns 1. And it certainly seems like in this game so far, maybe it's just a Truck Series thing, but the AI don't take off very well on the starts in the Truck Series, at least. So I'm hoping that's something that maybe gets looked at, because we just blow them away. But we came through out of turns 4 now on lap 16. Zane Smith had moved up into P2, and I had nothing for him. He would actually drive right by me. Sauter got up in the mix, as well as Grant Enfinger and Ross Chastain. Enfinger, he went past me, and then we come through to just 3 laps to go, and I just had nothing for that battle up ahead as we went down into turns 1. A fellow Canadian of Stuart Friesen got to my inside as well as we came through the center of the corner, and I was just kind of slowly dropping down the order in these final laps as Sauter and Chastain were right behind me here, and we came through now approaching 2 to go. You see Sauter, he got to my inside, he would pass me, then the 38 of Todd Gilliland now on the final lap would get to my inside as we went down into turns 1. So now down to P6, and I think we've run really good when I'm a little bit disappointed running down in P6 now as we exit turns 2. Chastain just behind me as we go down this back straightaway. So now Gilliland tries to hold on to P5 as we go down into turns 3. We're going to dive up the inside We've been running the top most of the race, but we send it to the inside trying to get a top 5, and it's not going to be enough. Out of turns 4, Chastain closes in on the back of me as well, but he doesn't have enough. We're going to cross the line to finish in P6 here in Kansas. So a solid effort, can't complain about that, as that's our worst finish in the last 3 truck races now, as Enfinger would pick up his 2nd win on the season. He currently does lead the points as well, as we would get ready though to go right into the next race here in Texas, the 2nd Texas race already this season, and they're only actually 5 races apart, which kind of surprised me here now as we get underway. So if you guys remember, our first Texas race did not go well at all. It was really bad. So I actually went into the setup menu and I kind of made my own little setup to try and get this truck running better. Basically what I was looking for was a truck that could just get through the center of the corner more, like it would turn more through the center of the corner, because I remember last time in Texas the car was so tight through the center of the corner and on exit. So that was the biggest thing I was trying to change coming into this race, and sure enough, it felt a lot better here now as we come through out of turns 4, 3 wide in the middle there between the 23 of our teammate Brett Moffitt now, but we came through in lap 2. We would pass the 32 of Gus Dean and move up into P12 behind Ben Rhodes, and we would run down the next group of trucks, and we would make it 3 wide with Ben Rhodes and Stuart Friesen down towards turns 1, and all of a sudden we're up in the top 10, which was something that we could not do in the first time around at Texas. So clearly we have more pace this time here for the 2nd Texas race now as we go down this backstretch side by side with Friesen as we try to look to the inside of Riley Herbst, and sure enough we get to the inside of him, and we are just zooming here now as we came through to the final lap of stage 1 out of turns 4. A little bit of contact there with the 13 of Johnny Sauter, but we come through to cross the line in P8 here for the first stage. So much better the truck was feeling compared to the first time in Texas, as Matt Crafton though would win the first stage. No pit stops necessary as usual. We're not going to have to worry about pit stops really until we get to the Cup Series, when we up the race length and as well as the fuel and tire wear now as we come through. Going green for the start of stage 2 on the outside of Ben Rhodes. I look at Ben Rhodes personally as a driver that's probably just going to spend his whole NASCAR career in the truck series now. I'm not sure how old he is, but he's got to be closing in on 30 at this point now as we go down into turns 1. And so not a great launch for myself here as we're stuck behind Spencer Boyd there now in the number 20 truck as we exit turns 4. So only 4 laps here in stage 2. Immediately looking to get to the inside. We make it 3 wide in the middle between the 51 and Boyd now as we go down into turns 3. Riley Herbst on that inside moves forward, and now as we come through out of turns 4, I see behind me my teammate of Tyler Ankrum as we're still 3 wide in the middle between Boyd and Rhodes, as we had to slow up a little bit there for Austin Hill as we come through this little tri-oval down into turns 1. A little bit of contact there with Boyd. He goes sideways, but he makes a big save through turns 1 and 2. We finally though would get to the inside, get inside this top 10 running P8. Then we would pass our teammate of Zane Smith for P7, slide up in front of him, and then we came through to the final lap of stage 2 out of turns 4 right behind Riley Herbst. It was the 98 of Enfinger winning stage 2. We come through to cross the line to finish in P7 here for the 2nd stage. So far we are running so much better compared to our very first Texas race in 5 races ago. So much bigger turnaround than I was expecting. I thought we could run better, but not this much better. So hopefully we can continue this run here into the 3rd and final stage, which was the stage we really fell off last time in Texas. Now as we are once again underway here for the 3rd and final stage, just 10 laps to go at this point now as we go down towards turns 1. Enfinger out front there, you see up ahead, as well as Ross Chastain. I think Ross Chastain is going to be a driver we're going to be competing with for sure right down to the wire in the playoffs, into the final few races now as we exit turns 2, and we would actually lose a little bit of contact with the top 5 drivers now as we came through out of turns 2. Then I would get into the wall on the outside, or on the exit, sorry, of turns 2. Lose some ground because of that. Ankrum, he goes by, as well as the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. So next thing you know, I'm down to like P10. Friesen got up to me, Zane Smith as well, but we would fight back into P8 now on lap 20 of 24. Then the caution would come out with just 5 laps to go, which means we would have a 2-lap dash to decide the finish here in Texas. So I was very excited to see what we could do. Unfortunately, we were starting on the outside here in P8. Right in front of me, it would be the 51 of Riley Herbst. Now as the green flag is back out, and once again, we are underway. Can we manage to get our way through into a potential top 5? We're going to get aggressive right off the bat, make it 3 wide between the 51 of Herbst and the 88 of Crafton. I see a chance to get to the bottom, so I slow up, let Crafton pass, and then just slide in there, as you saw, in front of John Hunter Nemechek. Now as we come through out of turns 2. So here we are in a chance to maybe steal a top 5 finish. Now as we push Crafton down the backstretch, now down into turns 3. We're going to make it 3 wide. There was Enfinger once again leads away. He's trying to do what I just did and go win 2 races in a row. Now as we exit turns 4, Austin Hill up in the second, trying to clear Ross Chastain as we start the final lap here in Texas, side by side with Johnny Sauter as we go down towards turns 1. A little bit of contact there with the past Truck Series champion. Now as we come through the center of turns 1 and out of turns 2, right on that left rear, a little bit of contact made there as we go down this back straightaway. John Hunter Nemechek looks to my inside now as we thankfully clear him down into turns 3, though Enfinger is way out in front of Austin Hill, and he is going to come through out of turns 4. Grant Enfinger will win his 3rd race of the season as we come through to cross the line here in P5. So a very, very solid finish for us now as we just continue to run really consistently all of a sudden. I'm very happy with it, can't complain, and this puts us in great shape in the points now as we climb up to P6 as we're making up a lot of ground that I think we lost earlier in the season. But we will jump straight into the final race of this episode now as we were underway here in Iowa. I did the same thing for Iowa. I made the truck a lot looser in the setup menu, hoping that I could find something that I need as we go down into turns 1, because kind of like Texas, I always have trouble with the Truck Series getting the truck to turn through the center of the corner. So I decided, like I said, to just mess with the preset setups a little bit and just get that truck turning more. So basically I just messed with the wedge and the track bar, as well as the bump, which is like the very first box you get. I usually turn those down to like 6 or 7, and that usually does enough, because we came through now running P10 on lap 3 of 6, making a pass there on John Hunter for the 9th position. We came through now on the final lap, though, of the stage, and John Hunter had actually gotten back up my inside as I went down into turns 3 here as we send it up the inside of the 18 truck out of turns 4, and now Eckes holds on, and then we get passed by Nemechek at the line, so we're going to get the final stage point here in stage 1 for Iowa. Not what I wanted to do, but we gave away a point, but obviously we have 3 wins on the season, so these points don't matter. All that matters now for us, our playoff points now, as we get ready to go green for stage 2. Stuart Friesen actually won stage 1, so he is looking pretty competitive here today now as we're ready to go green once again here in Iowa as we're back underway from the 10th position now. 2 stages remain here with 7 laps to go, and this second stage is John Hunter is making it 3 wide with myself and Austin Hill as we go down into turns 1. He is not afraid to be aggressive. We know John Hunter is never afraid to be aggressive. We've seen what he can do at a track like Canada there on Cole Custer quite a few years ago now as we go down into the corner, getting back down on that bottom. I actually really like to run the outside lane here in Iowa, but I wasn't really feeling it in the trucks. Actually in qualifying, I'm pretty sure I did run the outside just to see what I could do. Now as we go down into turns 1 now with just 2 to go at this point in the stage, I hadn't really gotten anywhere. We were still running like P9 as we did though make a pass there for P8 as we were running right behind Austin Hill, but we come through to the final lap here in stage 2 out of turn 4. Still running P8 as we came through across the line. It was the Ford truck of Raphael Lassard winning stage 2, and we came through to get P8 here in the second stage. So nothing to complain about, because Iowa, another track that I have struggled at a lot in the past. So I was confident that if we can get a top 10 out of this, then we really do have a team capable this season of being a top contender right down to the end now, as we're already closing in on the final handful of races in the regular season. We've gone by really quick here now as we would get ready to go green, or get underway I should say, for this third and final stage. 9 laps to go, but I believe after this race there was 5 races left in the regular season for the Truck Series, so maybe we'll click all of those off in the next episode. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see now as we go down into turns 3. Sauter gets past me as we drop down to P9, 3 wide in front of us between John Hunter, Brett Moffitt there, and as well as I believe that was the 51 of Herbst or the 18 of Eckes, either one now as it came through turns 3 and turn 4 now on lap 24, just 5 laps to go. Still in this battle here with Nemechek. Sauter, we would pass them for P7. Now as there's a problem there right there for the 98 of Enfinger, who's won the last 2 races. he's blowing up into turns 1. No caution would come out. So he would come to the pit lane. He was done for the day here in Iowa now. And that would allow me to get up to P6. But then these trucks once again would run me down as we came through straight to the final lap here in Iowa. Ben Rhodes drove right by me into turns 1 and turns 2. I tried to fight back through the center of the corner, and I had absolutely nothing now as Todd Gilliland gets to my inside. But Raphael Lessard leads the way through turns 3 and turns 4. And he's about to win his way into the playoffs now as we come through out of turns 4. Gilliland's going to get the position from us as we come through out of turns 4 to cross the line to somehow get a top 10 here in Iowa with a very solid finish of P8 now as Raphael Lessard picks up the victory, as I'm thinking that he is actually Canadian too. I might be wrong, I'm not sure, but Grant Enfinger would finish 5 laps down with that DNF. But you see, P7 in the points is where we stand now. Austin Hill now leads the point standings after Iowa. So we are, though, making up a lot of ground. We ran consistent this whole episode. Obviously, the Xfinity hot seat, we were able to match our goal over there. So very, very happy with that. And I'm thinking that maybe in the next episode we might get another Xfinity hot seat, as well as it could be for a 5-star team. Hopefully, we'll have to wait and see. But in the next one, we'll start it off going to Chicagoland Speedway, which I believe we won this race in NASCAR Heat 4 in the Truck Series. So hopefully we can back that up and get win number 4 on the season here in the career mode. In our rookie season, we're having a very solid rookie season so far, so I can't complain. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. There you see the playoff grid right now. Johnny Sauter, the last driver in, on points there as well. You see Michael Annett leads the Xfinity Series standings with 4 wins, and it looks like our next Xfinity hot seat might be at Iowa. So we'll see how it goes in the next one. So thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.